From Tampa Bay's #1 news station, this is the Fox 13 4 o'clock news.
More good stuff right here today. Fox 13's Chip Brewster is learning how to fly fish.
And he hooked up with the Suncoast Fly Fishers in St. Pete to see what it takes.
Hey everybody, today we're going to take you out on the water to learn exactly what's involved with the sport of fly fishing. Now this is something I have never done before, but it's okay. I have found us a master certified fly fishing instructor, Captain Pat Damico, and I've also found us a couple of different options, a couple of different clubs that you can join, and trust me when I say anybody can learn this sport. In fact, the captain told me that you get better as you get older. So it is never too late to get started in fly fishing. We're going to see exactly what it takes to learn how to cast, talk about some ties, and actually get out on the water too. Maybe even catch a fish. Who knows? The point is, learn a bit more about this wonderful sport, and hey, maybe you'll get hooked. Back to you guys.
Our Chip Brewster is getting a lesson in fly fishing, but before he gets in the water, he's practicing his technique. And that's next.
You're watching Fox 13, Tampa Bay's #1 news station.
Well, yesterday, you may remember, our Chip Brewster learned how to fly while paragliding. So today he's learning how to fly fish.
He's always learning something, isn't he? That's what we like about him. Chip is in St. Pete with the Suncoast Fly Fishers Club.
I am learning for the very first time how to fly fish, and one of the things I have quickly learned, there's a lot more to this than simply going, and we're fishing. Like that looked awful right now, but it's okay. I've got a great instructor in Captain Pat. So you, well, you're with a couple of different clubs, but today you're representing Suncoast Fly Fishers.
And also Tampa Bay Fly Fishing Club in Tampa.
There's that one as well, and then you're also got another organization.
Project Healing Waters Fly Fishing.
He's pretty involved, and you're a master certified trainer in fly fishing. So definitely a guy that is good to work with on this. And before we dive into the mechanics and the small things that really make a good cast good, how can people come out and learn from you and learn from others in these clubs and in the Tampa Bay area?
Well, in Tampa Bay, the meetings are at Compton Park the first Wednesday of the month. That's Tampa Bay Fly Fishing Club. And in St. Pete, it's Suncoast Fly Fishers the third Thursday of the month. And the meetings are from 6 to 9.
So the best way is just coming out to a monthly meeting.
Come out. You'll see 150 people there that have the same interest, have different levels. They will be tying flies. They will be doing a lot of things. If you never fly fished, come.
Casting clinics. Keep going.
If you're very advanced, don't worry about it.
I love it. And they even have other clinics. I saw one where you did it just for women even.
Yeah,
too.
we had 32 women show up for one a couple of weeks ago. It was terrific.
That's great. Now let's get into exactly what you will learn. So we're doing an abbreviated version because it takes quite a bit to get good at casting, but let's go through the mechanics of the casting of fly fishing.
Okay, you're holding the rod properly.
Okay.
And remember I told you for a pick up and lay down cast, which is basic, you stop, and then drop.
Stop.
And the longer the line, as you pointed out, the longer you must pause. So try it.
So, stop.
The line has to go back a little further.
So then, and then there's an extra.
Longer pause.
Longer pause. Stop, drop. Ooh, that was pretty.
Yeah.
I wish I could take credit for it.
I even helped you a little.
I know. Okay, and you're saying that this is the basic cast? What is a more advanced cast?
Everything that you would do once you learn this. For instance, a lot of people feel they must learn a double haul to fish saltwater, which is very advanced. But if you can't do things well with your one hand, how does getting your other hand involved help?
That's a great point, yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
So I'm going to shorten the line a little. When you're having difficulty, it's always good to shorten the line a little bit.
Just a little less.
Now see how much better that was? Go ahead, take it.
Now let's see if I can do it.
Go. Stop higher.
That was a little better.
Stop higher. Higher.
Let it down.
Remember
even
when
higher.
you stop very high, yeah. There.
Hey!
That's very good.
I could almost maybe catch a fish with that. Now, what sets fly fishing apart from like the rod and reel that a lot of people are familiar with, where you're not worrying so much about the casting, you just get it out there and wait?
When you're fishing with conventional tackle, you have a weight on the end. Here, the fly line is the weight. There's no weight to the fly. Okay? So you have to learn how to manage the line. Okay. And your equipment must be balanced. This is a 7-weight rod. We're using a 7-weight line. And as I said, fly fishing today with the equipment we have is very cost effective. And all you do is take your time.
It seems like a fairly relaxing sport too. Like when you get
I've been
pretty
doing
good
it
at
since I was 10.
Yeah.
And I think it's relaxing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm going to keep working at this because our hope is to get out on the water and maybe catch a fish today.
We'll see.
We'll see. That's all you can ever say, right? But there's a lot more to it. So in our next segment, we're going to dive into the tie side, the fly side.
What flies?
What flies? The flying part of fly fishing. I think I'm learning, guys. Give me a break, and you can learn too. That's the whole point of it. So I'm going to toss it back to you guys and see you in a little bit.
All right, Chip, thank you.
It does look tricky, doesn't it?
It does look a little harder than
Yeah. We'll see how he does with the tie flying.
That's right.
The fly tying.
So the last time we checked in with Chip, he was learning the perfect cast for fly fishing. Not so easy.
Yeah, it does not look easy at all. So let's find out if he's moved on to the next step. Let's check back in with Chip.
We are heading out on the water with Capt and Pet. Coming up, we introduce you to the sport of fly fishing and how you can learn to do it for yourself.
That's where you catch the fish, right? You got to get in the
That's what I
water.
hear.
And now Chip is in St. Pete learning to fly fish with the Suncoast Fly Fishers.
Well, in our last segment, we started learning about fly fishing, specifically the casting. And what I don't think I really mentioned was the fact that we were doing it on land instead of out here on the water. But that's very purposeful, right, Captain Pat?
We don't want the distraction of catching fish.
I love that reasoning, but then also, like, it's a bit more of a controlled environment.
Yes,
and
because you could concentrate on the lesson.
Yeah.
Now we're going to put it to practical
We're going
use.
to put it to practical use, but before we get to catching fish,
Okay.
we also need to talk about the fly part of fly fishing.
Okay, so it's probably a misnomer because up north, when you fish for trout, you almost have to have a degree in entomology, and you're using very tiny flies.
Oh, those are tiny.
Now this looks like a grasshopper, okay? But these are very tiny.
This is one fly, right here?
Each one.
Oh, my
Each one is
goodness.
separate. Here's one. I was going to teach you how to
one's
tie that
stuck
one
on it.
today, but
I'm glad we didn't get into that lesson.
so
Wow. So these are for up north
trout fishing.
trout fishing.
Which a lot of people have done, and then they move down here and they're confused. The simple thing, though, is saltwater fish feed on three things: bait fish patterns,
Okay.
crabs. Notice any size difference?
I mean, a little bigger. I imagine that means the fish are bigger.
Sometimes. Most
hopefully.
times. However, we match the hatch. So bait fish are around about this size now,
Okay.
and the size makes a difference. You know, so you look in the water and you see what's there. So that's going to be a good one. If we want to duplicate shrimp, we use something like this. And if we want to duplicate crabs, we use something like this.
And so you don't put anything else on that. The fly is the bait, so to speak.
Correct. It's important, though, that these flies are ineffective unless you put them where the fish is.
And you got to know like what fish is in what area, so which fly is going to work well there.
There isn't scent to help you. There's nothing else. A lot of times we sight fish, so we see the fish first, and then cast the fly to them. That's the epitome of fishing the salt. You know, seeing a large fish and putting the fly to them. And if you tied the fly yourself, you get an extra kick.
Yeah, and that's something I was going to ask about because these look pretty intricate. Do a lot of the fly fishers make their own? I assume you can buy them from places as well.
Yes, you can, but most of the serious fly fishermen make their own. In fact, some of them enjoy fly tying as much as they do fishing.
Oh, cool.
When you're in Minnesota during the winter, how much opportunities do you get to fly fish?
Your winter time is your tie time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here in Florida, we can do it all the time.
Well, and I liked your comment too about how you sight fish, you have the right fly for that fish, and then you're aiming for it, because that goes back to what we were practicing on land, which is actually aiming your cast.
And eliminating slack so you have feel.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can't see the fly, but you can feel what happens. And if you have slack, you can't.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's important, though, is to duplicate what a crab does, duplicate what a shrimp does, and duplicate what a bait fish does. And the way to do that is to go in your bait shop and look in the tank where they have a bunch of shrimp and watch what they do.
And if I were to guess at something, you can learn this sport pretty quickly, but like you can't ever master it. Like you can always keep learning.
Well, I started at age 10, and I learned things this morning from you.
I don't know what I taught you, but there you have it. So from Captain Pat, our master certified trainer. Now, we have learned about the casting and learned about the flies. So I say we combine it all in our next segment, actually see what we can catch.
Absolutely.
Stick around and wish me luck.
Let's
see
do
you
it.
guys there.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Coming up, it's a new adventure for Fox 13's Chip Brewster. Well, yesterday he was in the sky, but today he's on the water.
Hey guys, I'm learning how to fly fish today, and we are out on the water. I'm about to do my first actual cast, and we're going to show you how you could do something like this as well with a master certified trainer. That's coming up on Fox 13.
Well, aside from Ken Suarez, here's someone else with a really tough assignment today. Fox 13's Chip Brewster is spending the day on the water, but he isn't just boating. He's fly fishing. Chip hooked up with the Suncoast Fly Fishers in St. Pete to learn how.
And all last hour, we watched him practice his technique, so now he's ready to cast.
If you want to learn how to fly fish, you got to start with the basics, which means starting on land, taking your time, and having a pro there to teach you. I did two of those things. I started on land and I had a pro. I didn't take my time because we wanted to do these segments for you guys. But Captain Pat, normally you got to spend quite a lot more time mastering the fundamentals on land before you get out here.
That's a good
right?
idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. But once you're out here, it's slightly different because now we have the elements to worry about. The wind behind me, the type of fly we have, the type of fish we're trying to
We
catch.
have a hook on the end.
The hook on the fly. Yep. And I'm all sorts. Oh no.
Okay, you're all right.
There we go. We're okay. We're okay. But the point is, we kind of rushed a little bit just to get me out here and doing this. Someone else, on the other hand, how long would it normally take to really work up to being at this point?
Starting at zero.
Starting at zero like I did today.
I've had some people within an hour, they're quite proficient. I've had some people after 5 lessons, or, so it all
So it
depends.
just depends on the person.
Yeah, people that are sports oriented usually are very good. Good hand-eye coordination wouldn't hurt. But someone who's used to being coached and follow, the instructions.
What are some of the key tips when you actually get out here on the water, such as some of the things that you're trying to coach me on?
Well, there are all the fundamentals that we talked about this morning. Eliminate slack. Keep your rod tip traveling in a straight line.
Oh,
that was excellent.
Yeah, that felt better.
Yeah. Pause long enough for the line to almost straighten. Start your cast slowly, pick up speed, and stop. And the arc that you make with your rod each time is larger with a long cast and shorter with a short cast. That's all of them. Everything that we talked about, everything that we talked about really hasn't changed. They're the fundamentals. You master those 5 things, and you will get more proficient. And it's good to practice like 15, 20 minutes a day, 4 or 5 times a week.
And you don't have to get out on the water to practice.
No, out in front of your house, the way we were doing.
All right, well, let's say we try and catch a fish now.
Why not?
We got it right up in there.
You must get back further.
Okay.
Try it again. More Mike.
Feel something?
Yep, I just missed one.
Well, Captain Pat, we tried our darndest, but I guess no fish today. I imagine, though, as a master instructor, you are also a master of fly fishing excuses, right? What are some that we could throw out there?
Well, we had that front that came through last night, and these southern fish haven't warmed up yet.
Yeah,
that one.
Weather's definitely factoring.
Pretty good, yeah.
So it's not us.
And we didn't see any decent bait fish this morning.
Yeah, bait fish aren't out, so that's not our fault.
And we haven't seen any birds feeding.
Yeah, what's up, birds? Jeez.
Look at the birds. The birds are sitting there, and they can't find anything to eat, and we didn't see any dolphin.
Mm-hmm. But I got one more. It's my first time, and I didn't take enough time to really learn it, but we tried. It's really cool. If you're interested in fly fishing and you know all those different factors, you can check out Captain Pat as one of the master instructors, only 200 in the world. And then, of course, the 2 big clubs at Suncoast Fly Fishing. And
Suncoast Fly Fishers in St. Pete and Tampa Bay Fly Fishing Club.
There you guys have it.
Tampa.
Hopefully, we have interested you somewhat, and you can get out and enjoy this fine sport of fly fishing. Back to you.
Well, he's got the excuses down, doesn't he?
Doesn't he? That's kind of amazing. But I love how patient the coaches, Coach Pat there.
All
Captain
day.
Pat? Yeah.
He was like that.
Chill, as you said, yeah.
Chill.